Hello, one and all, to the first, well, technically the second episode of Icelandic News Channel 4. So, today we will be discussing war staff and wars on the server. So, a lot of players will mold, cry, and be upset about wars because they will lose. But not all the time is this from fairly losing or all that shish kebab or with they lost fair and square or stuff like that. No, no, no. You see, the staff, admins decide the fate of wars. They decide the fate of nations, communities, entire peoples. And one would assume staff would be fair, staff would be, not involved in said wars they would be fighting in. Of course, of course, of course. And, now, not all the times this is seen by people, so you could say some staff would have bias. Not that we would think of that, of course. Staff members, of course, never have bias towards individual nations or peoples for their whether they like them or not. Of course not. But some players would think differently. Then I will, and I Icelandic News would like to bring you a song about some wars that have been fought in past times that would beg to differ about that, of course, are that of course thought we would have, of course. Now, let's begin. Were you there at Northport? We controlled 99% of that city. We had more points. We raised our flag up high, but yet it was a tie. Yet we did not win. And how could that be? How could that be? You could wonder who made that choice, who made that decision. The Aurorans had been pushed back into their walls. They were just there in that tiny square. The rest of the city was ours. But we didn't win. No, we did not win. There was no victory. It was a tie. It was a tie. That's what they said. That's what the gods decreed. They don't like being called gods, but you know what? It sounds cool. So, and now, we lost the Northport War. So they got a siege victory over the next one. The times were bad for us. And then eventually it just ended without a whisper in the air. And now another example of perhaps bias or misunderstanding in the staff. The third battle of Manzig. We saw us blow up those capture points. We saw what we did. We got kills that never counted. And the caps lock we destroyed, they kept going. And even in the rules, it said if cap locks are working, it's 35 points. But it said if they are not, and it's 25. And with the points we got from kills that did not count, we tied it. And regardless, because the cap locks were working that day, it should have been 35. It should have been a tie. But no, no, no. The staff decreed. Wait, no. No, no, no. Hold up. No, they did not decree. Instead, they waited a week and then they said, oh, no, sorry, guys. You guys don't get this. The attackers won by some miracle, apparently. And this is why we cry. This is why we get mold and seethe. Because time and time again, victories are taken from us. Or ties. At Northport, we clearly won the city. They held 3 chunks, not even their own Capitol building, which was blown up by the way. At Manzig, they never kept inside of the walls. We kept it tied by the coins that did not count. But of course, that did not. That did not say that way, of course. And in Istanbul, we won it. But still, the staff have not replied, giving us the honored win. Still, they have not seen we were in the right. We still have not gotten a siege victory for that. So, can you see the frustration people have? Can you see the rage that fills their hearts? Because when time and time again, victories are taken away from the people, they get a little angry, they get a little mad. When time and time again, they see victories slip from the fingers, time and time again. And now, let me tell you this one and true, straight and right. These battles, these wars, they decide the fate of communities, they decide the fate of nations. And when they are stolen from a people, when they're taken right from out under their feet like a rug, it can make them look and see the staff slightly biased, is might be a little unhappy, And yeah, now yeah. And now to mention one of the most infamous. Oh, you know it well and you know it good. It involved Vanovia, yes sirree. Antlers rest. And do you know what happened here? We won the first fight, and we won the second. But do you know why it was a tie? Do you know why? Do you know why? Well, let me tell you. They had two guys on a tree, so technically it was a tie, guys, even though we got more points and we captured the main building. Of course, guys, it was a tie. Now, of course, Icelandic news would never implicate a staff member in bias or abuse of power. Of course, Icelandic news would never think that a great staff team would ever do such a horrendous thing. But maybe the staff would take into consideration that the people that play on the server could possibly have a real issue with the way awards are handled, per se. And you could say lots of things, but we will not. We are simply describing the player's anger about the ways some awards are handled. For Northport, the attackers should have won. At Atlas Rest, the attackers should have won. At Menzing, it should have been a tie. At Islam Boulder, give them the victory already. I was literally there. No, create no bias, of course. I saw us myself. It was on recording, which I sent in the war ticket. I got my dear friend Bagel to, of course, send the war ticket, of course. That we held the capital building. We had more points by the rules, so there's nothing to debate. There's nothing to say other than we won. But we have yet to be given that victory. So you can see, of course, why some players would be somewhat miffed about the handling of wars, and maybe staff should consider, perhaps they should, take a good look and see what they can change, see what they can fix, of course. Not what I would ever say Ammons would ever have a bias or a problem with people who would have won or who would have tied. Of course not, of course not. No. Of course, that would never happen. Our staff team is good and well, of course. But I would have you remember these names. Istanbul, there's Hatler's Rest, Manzig, Northport. I would have you remember. I would have you know them. Staff team, of course, to reevaluate your decisions, maybe, possibly. So said the player base, of course. I would never think to question the staff, of course, in their wise and ever capable hands of handling wars. Of course not. No. And this is Icelandic News, signing off. Good day, good night, and goodbye.